Hello everyone. So I thought it'd be great to do a plant of the day video. Today I have picked one of my favorite plants. It's hard to pick. I have so many favorite plants. I really adore them all. There's some stinkers that make me struggle on the bus for sure. But this was one that Chelsea, one of my friends, had really suggested that I bring home with me. And I finally did, and I mean, she was just a leaf cutting that had been rooted into soil, and she's just been giving me so much growth. This is my Scindapsus Treubii Moonlight, and she lives in my west-facing window, and look at the silver on those leaves with the center vein that's just so beautiful and so dark. She has just brought me so much joy. I just love watching these leaves unfurl nice and slow and just say hello to the world. She's getting so much light from that window. I hope that this continues, that she likes the lighting that she's getting. She has really nice spacing in between her nodes, so that lets me know she's getting more than enough light that she wants. Scindapsuses, it's important to know that they're not pet and human safe. They have these calcium oxide crystals in them that causes irritation to the GI tract and can make you feel very unwell. So you want to keep that in mind if you have little hands and little mouths that like to go after your plants. In general, they do well in medium to bright and direct light. They will do fine, Scindapsus in general, in lower light conditions. However, this type, the Moonlight in general, will start to get darker and darker leaves, start to revert and make more of the chlorophyll, which is the green that you see in the leaves of plants, to compensate for the lower light in its environment. So if you buy this plant because you love that silvery, beautiful leaf, you want to give it at least medium light in your environment to keep that. You do not want to give it direct sun. It will scorch, it will burn, it will not do well in that type of lighting. Low light, you will have less growth, and also you will see some reversion of the color. If that doesn't bother you and you have low light and you don't want to give it more light, then go for it. Watering, it loves distilled rainwater, mother's milk to plants. You can give it that if you have the ability to catch it and store it. Filtered water is just fine. I have found that Scindapsus, even though hardy plants, they tend to not do well with a lot of minerals in their water, chemicals as well. It tends to give a little browning on the tips. The same thing is true if you drop it below 50% or 40% humidity. You will get the browning of the tips on the leaves as well, and the borders. It's not going to harm the plant, but the plant will get some crisping on the edges of the leaves. As far as temperatures, the plant does not like to be below 50 degrees Fahrenheit. That would be 10 degrees Celsius everywhere else in the world. Us in the United States, we have to be rebels and use Fahrenheit, right? 60 to 78 degrees Fahrenheit, 16 to 26 degrees Celsius is where this plant likes to live. It does not like to be super, super hot. So keep that in mind if you live somewhere where it's super hot and you don't want to have to worry about giving it that comfort zone as far as temperatures. Maybe it's not the plant for you. You want to make sure this plant is in a really good draining soil. I use an aeroid mix that works out well for me. I always keep them in a planter's pot. You want to make sure, specifically with this plant, this type of plant, got my hair on there, that it does have the ability to drain excess water from its roots, because I tell you, Scindapsus in general, they are really prone to root rot, and you don't really want to have to deal with that using hydrogen peroxide baths and having to get rid of all the bad soil and get rid of all the rotted roots and replant. It's a pain in the butt. So it's better to play it safe and prevent something like that than having to deal with it and take care of it in the plant. Let's see, what else? Fertilizer. I use a nice organic fertilizer. Y'all know I love my liquid dirt. This plant's been growing for me like a weed, so every time I water it, I give it quarter to half strength that is called for by the company on the instructions in its water. As I do for all my other plants, as long as they're growing, I give them fertilizer with every watering. If they change their mind and they're not growing as quickly for me, or they slow down their growth, then it might be every other watering. I just play it by ear with what my plants are showing me as far as growth and their appearance. They are not really big pest magnets because they do tolerate their environment pretty well. They don't get stressed out too easy. So, but you know, they can get pests. They are more prone to, you know, scale. Scale's not that bad. If you catch it, you can just pick it off and then you're done with it. Mealybugs, if you catch it when it's the first one, you can just take it off with some 70% alcohol on a swab. But, I mean, they can get spider mites too. Even though spider mites don't prefer them, they will go after them if they're desperate. And, you know, I would use just my typical, which would be, I put Dawn soap, like 2 tablespoons of Dawn soap with 2 tablespoons of neem oil and a gallon of distilled, and I treat it that way. I also use beneficial bugs to try and keep them at bay. Although this Scindapsus doesn't seem to have an issue with bugs, so I haven't really put beneficial bugs on them as prevention. So I hope you found this video helpful. I know it's a short one, but I think, you know, the care for these plants, Scindapsus in general, including this Moonlight, is just so easy. They're so easygoing. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. You can also share it with anyone that might have this plant and might be struggling. That's what these videos are here for, to help others care for their plants and not be so stressed and struggle. Until next time, don't forget to give your plants a lot of planty love, and we will see each other soon.